Happy Friday. I'm Lisa with Little Mama Schoolhouse, and I have been trying to make this video for a long time. So this video is kind of about my New Year's resolutions, goals, whatever you want to call them. And again, I've been trying to sit down and make this video since like the end of December. Just didn't happen, which was good because I really had some time to really kind of go over my resolutions and my goals and just kind of really figure out like my focus for the year rather than just having a huge list of to-dos and all of those things. So I made it pretty simple, and I just wanted to take some time and share that with you today. Over the years, I've just kind of realized that less is more in my mind. So I do focus on a word. So the word for this year is simplify, and this is a word that I have done. I think this is the 4th year I've done it. So I've only ever done like 2 or 3 other words, but simplify to me has it's really helped me, I guess, gain better focus on the things that matter. And so for a while, the first year, I thought it kind of meant more minimalism. And so, we went through that stage where we purged a lot of our belongings and we lived very minimal, simple. But over time, I've kind of almost changed that definition in my mind of what that means. So this year with my simplify, I guess I'm just focusing more on just being content with being home, with just simplifying the things that we do here at our house. So meal times, our activities, everything. I think every year I just want to shut out more and more of the world and just live just more of a simple lifestyle. I guess that's probably the best way. So I will kind of share by the end of the year just kind of what those experiences are. Hopefully you kind of get what my focus is on. But again, it's a word that I kind of just think of throughout the year, and I just kind of try to, I guess, integrate it into my life. So I will just share again, like how that change kind of occurred from January to December at the end of the year. But if you've done a word, you know that at the start of the year, you really, even though I've done this word before, it really doesn't mean a ton yet until the end of the year, until you've really been able to focus in on it and to be able to have it just become, again, a part of your life. So that is my word for this year. I also made just 3 simple goals. I have them written down because I actually forgot one when I sat down to make this video, and it actually took me a couple minutes to remember what my goals were. Anyways, and I'm also keeping an eye on my kids. They are outside playing on the ice, like they're ice skating, and they're having so much fun, but I just need to keep an eye on them. So if you see me like keep looking away, that is what I'm looking at. Okay, so I have 3 goals. So my first goal, so last year I made a lot of goals last year. Did I keep any of them? Maybe like 1, not really. Anyways, so last year my focus was a lot on like weight loss and all of those things because I had 4 kids in 6 years. And so, and I just I neglected my body during that time. And I also suffer from autoimmune disease. And so my body was just kind of struggling. And so I kind of put a lot of emphasis on like, I want to lose X amount of pounds, and like, I want to do this and that and eat this way. And it was just way overwhelming. So I really didn't even start any of that until like October because I was so overwhelmed with what the end result should look like. So this year I kind of changed it around, and rather than having like weight loss, something kind of worldly, oh my gosh, can't say my words. Anyways, worldly, I wanted to focus more on just me, myself, and like who I am. So building self-confidence. Now, I think that's kind of one of those words that people are like, well, of course I'm confident, or, XYZ. And I don't mean just I want confidence, but I want to be okay and comfortable in the skin that I am, even if I don't look like this or I look like that. But also self-confidence in my mind, comes from a good physical emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. And so I felt like towards the end of last year, although I was now focusing on my physical, I felt like I kind of lost a lot of my spiritual and honestly my emotional and mental. And so I just felt like sometimes when you put all your eggs in one basket, it's easy to kind of, forget the other things. So I'm just trying, so to me, self-confidence this year, and maybe there's a better word for it, but I just want to overall feel like I'm evenly putting eggs in all those baskets. And I know it's not going to be consistent like day in, day out, but for the most part, if I can reflect on like the past week, did I pretty much have all my eggs in each basket? And that's kind of what I am trying to be, I guess, for myself, if that makes sense. Anyways, so that is like my big goal. And how I'm going to do that, I leave that open-ended. I don't list like, 1 through 10 of how I can do that, because to me, I have a personality where I just like to feel things out, and things come to me like throughout the year of how to better myself. Anyway, so like things that we've been really consistent at this year, although we were consistent last year, is like our scripture study. And so right now, like with little kids, that's something that's really hard for me to get done. And so I just put that all together. And so we just kind of work really hard all together for like 30 minutes a morning on just reading our Bible and just diving in and doing those things. And my wonderful husband gave me AirPods for Christmas, which is something I didn't realize that would be such a good benefit to my life. But I just don't have a lot of time to just sit down and read and all those things, which I think most parents and moms especially feel that as well. And so I was like, how easy is it to just go to the gym and maybe listen to my scriptures, on my earbuds? You know what I mean? So there's just different things I'm trying to figure out. Emotionally, I think mentally can come a lot from like our diets and like what we're consuming and just all of those things, including like media and just all those things. So again, like I said, I'm just trying to become a more well-rounded person. So I'm not listing out every single thing that I need to do to be able to become this person that I would eventually like to become, but that it will just take time and feeling it out. But that's kind of an explanation of what that is. Okay, so number 2 that I had was food storage in our garden. So we moved into this house last May. And so when we put our house up on the market at our previous home, we had a decent food storage, nothing like super extravagant. I would say a couple months worth of food. And it just killed me inside thinking about having to like box up all that food and moving it. So while we were in the process of like selling our house, packing, all of that stuff, we ate a lot of our food storage because I didn't want to go grocery shopping. I didn't want to move food, which ended up being really good because for a while we had to put all of our stuff into a storage unit. And so food in a storage unit for a long time is just not the best option in my mind. And so it ended up working out well. Well, fast forward to everything just kind of going on in the world, we still are pretty good about our food storage, all of that stuff. But that is something that I really wanted to continue to focus in on is our food storage. So there's that. And if you are interested in that, I don't want to say I'm really big into it. I have a lot of interest in it. And so I enjoy doing it. So if that's something that you are interested in or maybe want to learn more about, let me know down in the comments. And I will be sure to share videos on how I do that. I have a lot that I do starting now, pretty much. Beginning February is really when all that stuff takes off. So let me know. And then my garden. So again, we moved. We had this big, beautiful garden at our old house. And our yard at this new house is about half the size of our yard at our old house. And our garden was probably about a third of our backyard. So give or take. And we loved it. We had chickens. We had so many things. But now that we live in this newer house, it's just a smaller yard. And so I'm just trying to figure out the best way to have a garden at this home. So I love gardening. It is probably one of my most favorite hobbies ever. So I love to can. I love to, I guess that's the same thing as preserving, but we dehydrate. We do a lot of things. So again, if that's something that interests you, I would love to try to make some videos of us planning our garden area. There is like just a single garden box in our backyard that the previous people put in, but I'm gonna need a lot more. So we have that, and we have a good size apple tree, and so we cut that all the way back in the fall, and so I'm thinking this year I'm just gonna kind of knock some of the blooms off, just try to give it it needs some help. It hasn't really been pruned or taken care of. I think it was just kind of planted in the ground and kind of forgotten about. So it needs some love. So I'm thinking about sacrificing this year and just kind of giving it what it needs. So hopefully by next year it can produce what we would like. Okay, so again, let me know if gardening interests you. And then third is a quilt. So this is so basic, but I love that I put it on here. There was a puzzle that I had been dying to do. I got it for my birthday and we just never did it. Like, me and my husband were wanting to put it together and I just never got it done. And so January 1st, I was like, I'm gonna get this puzzle out. And I thought it was gonna take us, it was a 1,000 piece puzzle. Super cute. It was one of those like vintage prints, like where you see those vintage posters, and it was a fungi. So cute. Anyways, we ended up putting it together in, I think, like 36 hours. So it went by, like, it just went really quick, and then I was like, okay, well, I'm done. So anyways, what am I gonna do next? So I decided to put my quilt on there. So I bought all of this material for this quilt 9 years ago, and I haven't put it together. And so I decided, now that we've moved, we live closer to my sister. My sister is like such a quilter, just makes the most beautiful quilts I've ever seen. And she's completely self-taught. We were like, neither of us were raised like knowing how to sew. So anyways, she's taught herself a lot of stuff with quilting. So I just thought, what better now than to do this. So I bought all the quilting stuff, like I said, like 9 years ago when I was with her. Anyways, and it's just been sitting in my fabric tub, literally in the sack that I purchased it in. So you will see the material, and it's pretty, I don't want to say dated, but you'll know, like, this was like very popular like a decade ago, kind of the reds and the teals, but I'm still gonna go for it because I think it's still gonna be just a beautiful quilt. So I have like 2 of these, and then my sister even gave me a pattern forever ago, 9 years ago. And so anyways, like I said, I have never done this. So my goal is by the end of the year to have this quilt complete. So I'm really excited about that. So those are just my goals for this year. So again, pretty simple. You can add a lot to it. You can not, if it's just ends up being a crazy year, which honestly, with schooling and having a 2-year-old, it has been crazy, but I feel like we are finally getting into a good routine. So that is always helpful. Anyways, I hope that this video kind of motivates you. Maybe think of some of your goals. Maybe think of a word. And if you do have goals, or you do like similar, maybe different goals, let me know down in the comments below. Also, if you do a word, let me know what your word is, because again, I've used the same word for like 4 years. And so just not like, no other word has really struck me. So I've done like a bunch. I'm trying to think. Glory, content. I'm trying to think. And then there's another one that I did one year. But most of the time it's been simplify. So anyways, I'm so grateful that you are here, and I hope to be making a lot more videos. I've been trying to wait till we get into like a good routine. So like what you actually see is like what we're actually really doing consistently. And so I feel like we're finally getting to that place. And then also having a 2-year-old, you know, that changes things every day of our productivity. So luckily today, the 2-year-old is she started Grandma and Grandpa Day. So they call my parents Nana and Papa, so Nana and Papa Day. And so my mom comes and she picks her up in the morning about the time that we start school, and then she keeps her through her nap and then brings her home around dinner time, and she has so much fun doing that. Both, like, my parents, they both love it, and my daughter loves it, and it's just so good for all of them. And it's so good for me because, like, I already got my bathrooms clean, you know, sheets washed, all of those things. So that's been really helpful. But anyways, we're just always trying to figure out a good routine with the 2-year-old, and that's always changing daily. But I feel like we're finally getting into like a rhythm where she understands like the school stuff and all that. So I do plan on making a lot more videos, but I just wanted to be able to get into a good routine to really show what we really do. So anyways, I hope that you all have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time.